Live from New York City. This is the real Tony Cohen, and I'm going to upset a whole bunch of other people right here, right now. Over the last month, I would say, I've been doing a lot of digging around the phenomenon known as crowdfunding, which from the outset sounds wonderful. You get a bunch of money, you don't have to pay it back, and you don't have to give equity away in your company. So, is it too good to be true? Well, I'm going to blow the lid off it just a little bit for you here. There's a few challenges with it. It all looks wonderful. However, the feedback I've got from people, some of whom have made it work, and that's great feedback, and I've got friends who've actually made it work. But the challenge is now, 2 years, I guess, maybe longer down the road, is it's commonplace. And like anything else, when you see a bandwagon, it's too late, in the words of Sir Jimmy Goldsmith. What do I mean by that? Well, crowdfunding 2 years ago was wonderful, brand new, great. Now there's so many people doing it, and there's sites popping up, and there's specialist sites for nonprofits, for real estate crowdfunding, for I don't even know how many different things are out there, okay? The challenge is the same pretty much on all of them. It's not much different than the people that stop you on the sidewalk with a clipboard talking about their belief and their projects, and they're actually raising money for charity. I'll let you make your own decision on that, but it's not much different. Or when you're harassing your friends and your family for money, and all of a sudden you start losing your friends and your family. Guess why? They don't want to talk to you anymore. So there's a couple of things here. Unless you're using leverage, and I'm not going to get into that now, that's a whole different training that I actually work with my team on. Unless you're using leverage, you're doing all the legwork yourself. And that's the same with anything in life. You know, if you own a factory, you're not doing all the work in the factory yourself, you're leveraging a workforce. If you're a chef, you're leveraging a sous chef and a prep guy and a busboy, okay? Because you're not doing everything yourself. Unless you're leveraging your crowdfunding, you're gonna have a hard time of it right now. Why? 2 years ago, it was something new and there's a novelty and people would jump on it. Now there's so many options. If I wanna look at where to throw my money, I can just type crowdfunding and anything. Wonderful. So, 2 years down the road, what have we learned? Number one, it's not a lot different to raising money for charity, and that, you know, sometimes wrongly and rightly has a terrible stigma about it. To a degree. Sometimes it's perfectly fine, but the perception of the masses, and let's face it, that's where the crowdfunding or the charity gets their stream of income from, their money from, the masses. The perception is not great. So what's wrong with crowdfunding? A couple of things. Two of them line up together. When crowdfunding first launched, as far as I'm aware, it pretty much always had a deadline and always had a financial amount. Meaning, if you have to, right now it's whatever, early February. If I had to raise $1 million by the 29th of May, if I had to raise $100,000 within 2 weeks, and I got $99,999 shown, but I couldn't get the last dollar, and it came in 1 minute too late, I would get zero. Nothing. There's a challenge there. You could be so close to your dreams, to your passion, to your project, and boom, it's gone. You've lost it. What are you going to do? Ask everyone again and look like an idiot? There's a challenge there. Why that was put in, I don't know. Maybe for a sense of urgency, I really don't know. But a lot of platforms still operate that way. Some platforms, you know, require a percentage for using it, and that's fine. And personally, I don't have an issue with that at all. If someone is using someone's platform and their database or whatever it may be, and they all operate slightly different, yeah, they deserve, in my mind, it's up to you, in my mind, they deserve something for it. Same if you've got people who are so-called experts or gurus, I hate that word, gurus in their field. Do they deserve something for helping you? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Here's something I will tell you. I never give money to anyone that calls himself a guru. Just saying. Okay. So that in itself, I don't find anything intrinsically wrong with. I don't find anything wrong with the deadline and amount thing. It's not wrong. That's the conditions of pulling it together. Otherwise, these things, if I said it's $100,000 and get it when you get it, and if you're getting it as it's coming in, trickle fed, all of a sudden you kind of lose track of where you're at. So I kind of get it, but it doesn't suit everyone, number one. And number two, we're 2 years on and people are aware that you can put the money in and nothing happens. What I do hear, though, the most common thing I hear that pisses people off about crowdfunding is they get promised things from the people whose projects are. Now, if you're raising $100,000 by 2 weeks' time and you miss it, you're promising something that's not going to happen. So if I'm putting $2,000 into your project to get a new wristband, widget, whatever, steering wheel for my car, whatever it may be, and it doesn't happen, I get a bad taste in my mouth, so I decide not to do it again with anyone. Or, even worse, someone has a great project, they get all the money, they start it with the best intentions in the world, things go wrong. So the free book you were promised, the free steering wheel you were promised, the free running shoes you were promised, the free trip round, I don't know, road trip round California you were promised, the free day out at their new theme park they're funded you were promised. A lot of the gaming community uses crowdfunding. Well, I should remember that, really, shouldn't I? Uses crowdfunding. They tend to set their targets low. I saw one last week and it had a $10,000 target and it raised 6.9 million in no time at all. They've obviously figured out how to do it. So they're obviously hit the target way ahead of schedule. They're going to get the money and it doesn't cap it out. So that's fine. They do use it a lot. So if they're using it on the promise of, or the premise of invest, I don't know, $100, let's say, and you get a copy of the game a month after release, invest $250 and you get a copy of the game on release date, invest $1,000 and you get a copy of the game a month before the release. I don't have an issue with that. I think that's fine, as long as the game releases and they do what they say they're going to do. But it's a very unregulated industry. So if that doesn't happen, you don't get what you were promised. Who do you turn to? I don't know. And the challenge with crowdfunding as well is it's mainly online, which itself is unregulated. So you may have invested in a project in Australia, Guatemala, mainland China, and it doesn't come to fruition. What do you do? Nothing. Nothing you can do. So that's, you know, that's a chance you get. Why would someone put money in a crowdfunding project? Well, if you're in, I don't know, a place with high unemployment and your intent is to build a factory there to create 1,000 jobs, well, people in the community may put money into that project. I get that. If it's something that people can resonate with, if it's, you know, adversity-based, hardship-based, illness-based, something to do with pets or something you're passionate about, martial arts, whatever it may be, and it resonates with someone and they just think, you know, I'll throw a few $100s in that. I wish them well, throw a few $100 in. And that's essentially crowdfunding. If you take that approach to it, that it's just money you're putting in to help someone else out, you're just paying it forward, it's a bit of give back maybe. If you adopt that selfless approach to it without seeking stuff in return, you won't be disappointed. If you're looking to get into crowdfunding, you may be disappointed because you could put 3 months, 6 months, a year's worth of effort into raising a bunch of money, come up $1 short and get nothing and look like a complete giant idiot in the process, plus be out of pocket on all the money you spent trying to get it going. So 3 things. If it's got a deadline and it's got a qualifying amount, you know, set your deadline whenever you need it, but drop your qualifying amount, because a lot of these platforms will let you, a lot of them will let you get more than you try to raise. Check that out first. If people promise you something in return, that's your call on that one. It depends what it is. If they say stick $100 in my pot and I'll make you dinner on Friday night, you know, that's quite credible. If they're building nanotech robots and you can have the first one for $1,000 investment, will it happen? I don't know. I don't even know if there is such a thing. I'm just making it up. So, you know, for my advice, for what it's worth, normally when I work with people on crowdfunding projects, if they don't work with me, it's $1,000 per hour. So I'm giving you this one as a little freebie. You can get in touch with me through, what are we at now? www.leveragecrowdfunding.info. Leverage crowdfunding is different again. It's still crowdfunding. It does not have the deadline on per se, which means it doesn't necessarily have to have a qualified amount on, although I'm not going to tell you how to do it right now. You can draw the money off it as it's growing. So if you need 100,000 or 100 million for a project or whatever it is, you'd have to wait for it all to come in one day to get started. You could do the groundwork and the foundations or whatever it may be, or you can indeed reinvest some of that money in, I work with a lot of people that do this, reinvest some of that money in the marketing of the actual project itself. So you start something on the cheap, and you know, put a few $100s in it, get the thing, get the platform, get it up and running, take some money in. Then all of a sudden you've got a pot of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 you can reinvest in certain things. And again, I'm not going to go into it, what actually works to get traffic to your crowdfunding site. So, you know, if someone likes cats and you're opening a cat, actually there is one, a cat cafe, okay, there's a way of targeting cat lovers in your area online as a catchment. I'm not going to go into the details. However, you want to reach out to me, The Real Tony Cohen on Facebook, Tony Cohen on Facebook, I'm usually always top, on Twitter, but I don't really use it a lot, on LinkedIn, on just about everything really, or indeed on here, The Real Tony Cohen, live from New York City on YouTube. You're watching it right now. Guys, share away, have fun, enjoy. There's my website, I think, is on the link here. And if you log on to that and want to know more about it, you will connect with me. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Live from New York City, it's The Real Tony Cohen. Check it out. Thanks again, folks. Have a wonderful day.